glad you brought a camera.
Yeah.
So this one you can see hangs over to the neighbors.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Actually, this U does, and it kind of has to. There's no room
Yeah,
for it
exactly.
to go except over there, which is, I just can't see any other.
One thing you can do,
yeah.
I mean, it's
What
kind
would
of
be?
like giving it a haircut,
Yeah.
is you can cut it and leave it, you know,
as a
down
bush.
here as a bush. It will slowly, over the years,
Huh.
work its way back up, but it will take years.
What do you think about that, TJ?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
As the person living here, what's your preference?
This one I'm not so attached to removing.
Yeah.
I really just want to be a good neighbor and not have it hanging over their yard.
And this one?
This one, I mean, again, I'm not attached.
Yeah.
Because I am like you in terms of I'd like to have a tree and not cut down a tree.
Yeah. Who's your neighbor?
Hey, yeah, this is Michael.
Hi, Michael.
How are you?
Hi, we're just talking about, I'm Angela, and my husband Kenny.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, how you doing?
Southern California.
Yeah.
And your
Oh,
little
that's where
one's
my
here.
company's based.
Oh yeah? Where?
In Brea.
Oh, in Brea. We're
Yeah.
further south in San Diego County, but we were just talking about these yew trees, and Noah brought up that an option, aside from taking it down, because the problem with trying to trim it away is just that spurs new growth, and which, you know, it's just going to always be.
Well, I just know
yard.
this one's growing into my house.
Yeah,
That's got
we haven't gotten to that one yet. We're talking about the yews, and so it is an option to cut it all the way down, which is always, you know, taking a tree out of the environment, which is not good.
Right.
But another option is to make it a shrub.
Like a shrub.
And trim it down.
Yeah, because I either I myself or I hire someone to come in and clean, you know.
Yeah. That's
so that'd be a real nice gesture.
Yeah.
If Jose and Lisa are on board with that.
And do you have any preference about shrub versus taking it out completely? Cause
I'd leave that up to them, but my main goal is to keep stuff out of the driveway, especially the one growing substantially into the home.
Okay.
So that's the elm we're talking about, or whatever that is, right?
Okay. Alrighty.
So,
okay. Good.
Hey,
so
thanks.
I want to show
You guys want to go in the pool?
So
now this is this elm that are we talking about this?
are we talking this one here, or this?
That hangs completely over into their yard.
Okay.
And you know the cut would probably be even, you know, if it were cut there, this would sprout over here, right?
Yeah. What I would almost, I mean, you need an arborist to do it, obviously. And if you're going to have an arborist out here, oftentimes it's better to take a clean cut all the way back. And that'll alleviate that. I mean,
we had a good arborist last time who cleaned it up quite a bit, and I would say let's go back to them and see. I mean, that would just make it more upright.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dead limbs and just stuff that could potentially come falling down anyway. It would be great to have an arborist out here, get a bid, and let's see about getting it cleaned up. At the same time, they can probably address these. They can do all of it. So, and they'll probably give us a better rate if, you know, like to do those things.
That sounds fine. That sounds fine.
All right.
Let's go over to the east side here.
Okay.
Now the other kind of there's a chronic problem that we're seeing on the outside and the inside that we really have to do something different than what we've tried to do so far.
Okay.
Well, there's two things actually. This is a historic. You know, we've had this house for more than 20 years. And originally,
look at Noah. Look at this. How it's just.
Do you see how this?
Yeah.
And this is their fence.
Okay.
So I think we need to contact that property owner and explain the issue. I mean, no one can really even park back here for fear that it may
it's going to fall over
back.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And you can see it's kind of rotted.
Okay.
At the base.
Okay.
So their renter is here, so we'll have to look up the.
Yeah, we can find out who the owners are.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder if something's pushing on it from their side.
You know, this hedge, I'm trying to remember if that was the hedge that was coming over.
Well, there used to be a hedge. You see this here? This used to be, it used to encroach on this whole area, and then they trimmed it all back.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same hedge, but there is
years ago they did that.
A hedge right there that, you know, interim measure may be to stake it from this side too.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of options I'm thinking about just looking at it, because you do have room to work with here, where you could on this side put in your own stakes, and just something that's gonna then, I mean, clearly the whatever is pushing on this could be a long-term issue that we need to address, but it could be that this got damaged previously when they had that hedge there. Now I don't see something that should be doing this kind of making it do that. So I think it's old damage, maybe some rot. I don't know. These aren't really set in the ideal way. When they're just into the ground, they're gonna rot. So honestly, it could be as simple as us on our side, if we get permission to fix something to their fence, putting in a couple posts.
So I guess my preference would be we first ask the property owner to deal with it, and then if they can't, that we will do some temporary thing, but then our post is going to be moving against their post,
sure,
right?
Sure.
So,
well, and maybe the answer we get from the owner could be any number of things, but they might say, hey, if it's a reasonable cost, you guys want to put this a couple posts in that's going to reinforce the fence, let us know how much that'll cost, we'll pay for that. So that would be my expectation, that maybe we can negotiate that.
And then this is been a really long-term issue, and Kevin actually did a second paint job because on his own actually. So it's not something that can just be stripped and painted again, because this has come up and up and up. There's something underlying the wood, and we can see that the bathroom itself is a problem. And I thought we had agreed to install a fan in the bathroom, but you can see you got raw wood there, and this is here too. This is the bedroom, which doesn't have water, but it probably, I don't know if it's just coming down from there. A gutter would protect that window a little bit. It's sort of hard to tell. It's on both sides.
Okay.
So this has been a chronic problem on this side of the house, and what Kevin thought is that, one guy anyway said that it had to be like burnt off, that there's some kind of coat underneath the paint that was not, they did the usual scraping and sanding, but this was done 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, not that long ago.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So was it originally the siding had a stain coat on it or something other than paint?
It should be in your records, because Kevin has.
Did they replace some of the siding? Do you know?
No, they did not replace the siding.
Okay.
But they did do a pretty serious. They did it once, and that we had paid for, and it came back right away. And
just like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then Kevin paid someone to do a more serious prep. We were saying it must be preparation, and he had someone do a much more serious scraping and sanding. And I think there's, some kind of, maybe a petroleum product or something that is
coming from.
in the wood.
Well, it's coming from above.
Sure.
And coming down. I don't think it's necessarily. Yeah. Although I don't know what this wood looks like, but my guess is...
it's some of it, you can see the bubbling in other spots. It's not just from the window down.
Well, there's bubbling could be... I'm not sure... Okay, there's a couple things that could be going on, but the bubbling of the paint isn't necessarily indicative of a problem that would also be doing this. What is this? Do we know?
Looks like bird poop. Does anybody know?
That's what it looks like to me too, but
it's some sort of mold. The bird didn't stand there.
I don't think that's mold. It doesn't.
Well, on the inside there is a problem with mold.
Okay.
But this does look a little bit different. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely looks like bird poop. Don't you think?
It does to me.
Doesn't it?
Well,
I just don't understand how a bird poops vertically on a wall.
Yeah.
Well, if they
might
perch
be-
here,
Yeah.
is what would happen, and you can see the potential for that. But I don't know what I'm looking at, and I'm still trying to kind of get my mind around it. But then you see this, that doesn't strike me as something a bird's going to do. So what I'm thinking this is the moisture, the hot, moist air coming through this window, because this is the main way of venting it, right? So you open the window.
It doesn't
Okay.
open.
Yeah.
So you.
Oh, the window doesn't
They
open?
painted it shut the last time they painted it.
Wait, so you haven't been able to open the window?
No.
For how long?
For ever since they painted it, which we've
Couple
talked to
years?
the management company about that. We were told actually that someone was going to come install a fan.
Well, what
And
this
that-
is then is this is that hot, moist air trying to get out. It's getting out the only way it can. So it's bleeding through, and that's what's causing this discoloration and probably the bubbling too. So you need a fan. It sounds like.
Yeah, we need.
And you want there to be a
so,
fan. So
yeah,
let's do that.
So you reported that the window was not opening.
Yeah.
And no one has come.
Yeah, and like I said, we were told too. The last time that I made a maintenance request, I was told that they had spoke with you and that someone was going to come out and do estimates for a fan. That was probably at the beginning of the summer, and we haven't seen anybody since then.
Let's take a look in the bathroom, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
And Noah, did you get a picture of the window frame on the outside of this? This is, I don't know that.
Again,
it's
just the
related,
cracking
but
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it.
Yeah.
Again.
And you got raw wood exposed.
Yep.
And, yeah.
And it's hard to say. You know, I've seen this when the painting occurs and it's really hot outside and it doesn't allow it to dry evenly,
really?
and then it'll bubble. There's certain. It's hard in Oregon. The weather has to. It can play with you a little, so it can be partly that. I think the discoloration is indicative of moisture coming through, but the bubbling could be separate, or it could be related. So that's the challenge. That said, the good news is I think it's an easier fix. If it's just a matter of we need to find a way to ventilate that bathroom, let's do that.
Yeah.
And once we've got that done, I think then we can address that once and for all.
Okay.
So, and I mean, you can even see here you've got cracking. So
Yeah, there's.
I don't know how recently that was done.
Inside, there's the bathroom upstairs, and then there's water also down in the basement. Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure my camera's adjusted. All right, so where to start in here?
Oh, let's look at the bathroom, shall we?
All right.
Water scene?
Oh, no, good. So you see it's just a closed room.
Yeah.
I would say a priority is to get a ceiling fan
Or
or
even
internal fan.
yeah,
of some
even
kind.
something. What we did is we were able to put a fan in old house of mine that we put right there, and it just went right out.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of nice. We can get bids to see what's going to be the most economical way of dealing with it.
This was repainted just recently. Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing, it's not going to
No, I
last
meant
very long.
I meant like a couple months ago.
Oh, well, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when was the last time they painted in here?
Well, they recently just painted the ceiling.
Oh, just.
When we made the maintenance request, but the last time they did that was probably been about 2 years.
Oh, so they did the ceiling, I saw that, but didn't do
Didn't
that?
do that. Or the windowsill.
Okay.
Okay, so, and this whole thing is rotten right here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even watch. Will you hold
So we're
this for a
talking
moment?
about window replacement?
Well, possibly. Needing to rebuild it.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it looks like it opens just
Yeah.
fine. So that's not an issue, but the amount of moisture that this thing, and that's to be expected
Yeah,
with a shower
it gets stuck.
right? Yeah, so it's
So it's not stuck from the paint, it's just stuck
a
from
vinyl
swelling
window
from the...
would be
Yeah.
long term. I'm not saying you got to do it right away, but long term, whenever you get